Hi, friends. My name is Vivian. This is Mind Made New podcast. Welcome, welcome. I want to talk to you about what my client generally looks like. Who do I see? Who comes to me? What do they come to me for? Well, today I want to talk to you about my podcast where we explore how renewing your mind reshapes your nervous system, your behavior, and your lived experience. So, I am Vivian Hensley. I am a mental health coach. I am a lay biblical counselor and a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And in this season of the podcast, I am going to walk you through the real reasons that people come to see me, not trends, no buzzwords, real human needs. And it is wild the things that this kind of help can help people with. So, people seek hypnosis and mind body coaching for many reasons. Some of them come for weight optimization, which I'm going to do a whole podcast on that. Some of them want to reset what's going on with their food and their motivation and their body awareness. Some of them come to me to quit smoking or vaping and to change habits that no longer serve them. Right. Some people come to build confidence, maybe clarify career direction or plan next steps. Some people come during pregnancy for physical discomfort, emotional regulation, birth preparation. So, all of those things are available. And today's episode is going to focus on one of those things that's very near and dear to my heart: pregnancy, postpartum, pregnancy related discomfort, childbirth preparation. And so, this episode today is going to be part of a larger framework of episodes where I am discussing different reasons that people would seek out someone like me. Okay. And so one of them is pregnancy. It's a common reason that clients seek hypnosis. Pregnancy is not an illness, but it does place extraordinary demands on the nervous system. Women come to see me during pregnancy for nausea, persistent discomfort, uh, pain in the body, difficulty sleeping, calming racing thoughts, even fear surrounding labor or medical interventions. Perhaps they've had some sort of trauma related to doctors, a desire to prepare mentally and emotionally for birth. Perhaps they've had a previous traumatic birth experience. So, what is important to understand is that the mind is already shaping the pregnancy experience, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And hypnosis doesn't take that control away from the body. In fact, it teaches the nervous system how to stand down from unnecessary fear responses. Okay. So there's a fear, tension, pain cycle that happens. And in the early 20th century, there was a British obstetrician named Grantley Dick Reed. He identified what he called the fear, tension, pain cycle. And the sequence is simple: fear activates the stress response. The stress response creates muscular tension, and muscular tension restricts oxygen and blood flow. So, reduced oxygen increases pain. Pain reinforces and the fear creates tight muscles. Okay. So modern neuroscience confirms this. Fear activates the amygdala. The adrenaline suppresses oxytocin. Oxytocin is essential for effective labor. Less oxytocin often means longer, more painful labors. So hypnosis works, right, by interrupting this cycle, training calm as the default response. Clinical hypnosis and guided meditation during pregnancy work together. Okay. So activating the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering cortisol and adrenaline, improving oxygenation, circulation, retraining how the brain interprets the sensations that are happening in our body, right? Build conditionally relaxed responses is what we're going for. We want our body to be on a relaxation response that is conditioned, meaning that whenever there is an issue, the body responds with relaxation. It's not about mind over matter. That's not at all what I'm saying. It's about repetition. The same mechanism when clients come in for weight optimization, habit change, anxiety reduction, confidence building, sleep improvement, right? Different goals, but for the same nervous system. Does that make sense? So when we use that law of repetition to repeat over and over to ourselves in a calm state of relaxation, to interpret. We rewire the brain to interpret the pain that is interpreted in labor instead as a relaxed body. We train the brain and the body to stay relaxed in spite of the pain it may be going through during labor. Okay, so let me just explain that scripture supports meditation in birth. It's practiced, right? For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. This is 2 Timothy 1:7. Fear is not spiritually neutral. It affects the body. So God also says in Isaiah 26:3, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Peace is not passive. It's practiced, trained, and maintained. So biblical meditation and clinical hypnosis both involve focused attention, intentional breath, intentional regulation of the internal systems, okay? Bringing thought, body, and belief into alignment. So let me just tell you a little bit personal stuff. So I have a family history of hypnotherapy. My mom was a hypnotherapist in the 80s. She served folks for smoking cessation and weight loss. So when I became pregnant and because of a back injury, ended up with a lot of back labor, naturally hypnosis was a good fit for me. I had a lot of experience with hypnosis in my life. I had used it for a variety of different issues, including a surgery, including dental work, and then including birth. And so I know that birth is not to be controlled, but when you reduce fear, there's less pain, right? And so when you release instead of brace, breathe through intensity, stay mentally present, trust your body, your body's design. God designed us to give birth. And now I help other women to do the same thing. And I was able to use that regardless of your birth plan or your medical setting. So if you're giving birth at home, you're giving birth in the hospital or anywhere in between, like a birth center or even a destination birth, there's some of those. If you're doing any of those things, I help you prepare for birth through hypnosis and childbirth education. So if you're pregnant or you're planning to be, I offer complimentary first sessions for new clients. They're 60 to 75 minutes long. The first session is the first session for everybody. And we go through your goals, your symptoms, your emotional landscape, how you're approaching birth, whether hypnosis and coaching is even a good fit for you, and then how can I prepare you to give birth with the least amount of pain and fear possible. So I offer pregnancy specific packages. I typically see my clients starting at about 30 to 32 weeks until birth, and then I see them one time after, unless we continue on for different issues, of course. We meet 6 to 8 sessions. Our sessions focus on physical comfort, nervous system regulation, fear reduction, childbirth preparation, education, mental rehearsal for birth, and confidence and trust in your body's ability to relax and stay calm. And then in the final sessions together, I include the birth partner. So both of you are calm, aligned, prepared for the birth of your child. And after birth, we usually meet once, more postpartum, to debrief, integrate the experience, support emotional regulation. Pregnancy is just one reason that people seek my services, hypnosis and coaching. Others come for habits, health, confidence, rest, alignment. The common thread is this: when the mind is regulated, the body follows. The episode that I am doing here, this is part of a broader series exploring why clients seek my services, hypnosis, how renewing your mind changes everything. So if you are curious about all the ways that hypnosis can help you, reach out. Let's chat. This is one of my specialties. I work with clients, women specifically, that want to have a peaceful birth, feel like they can relax into the experience, meet it with joy and expectation, prepare to have a wonderful experience meeting their baby. right? So this is the important part. Sometimes when we get into this situation where we approach birth as it's no big deal, and then it starts to hurt a little bit and we get off of kilter, and then our pain turns into fear, and our fear turns into pain, and our pain turns into fear, right? And it's reinforcing itself. Tension, pain, fear, tension, pain, fear, right? So if we can interrupt that through hypnosis, practicing the law of repetition, one of the universal laws, and God's law that he gives us a spirit of power and of self-control, not of fear, right? So if we can use hypnosis to calm the mind and train it to respond with calmness, the pain, fear, tension cycle, that circle is interrupted, and your birth is going to be more peaceful just by default. So clinical hypnosis and guided meditation during pregnancy, they activate your nervous system to be calm and peaceful, retrains how the brain interprets all the sensations you're feeling in your body. We do some childbirth education, of course. I don't know if you know this about me. One of my many hidden talents and trainings is I'm a doula and an assistant midwife. I trained to be anyway. I was pursuing being a midwife and then realized that perhaps I want to support women in a different way through preparation for birth. And I also attend to women postpartum. I'm also a lactation coach, so I help women with breastfeeding. Again, all of these things are my secret hidden talents. I, mainly focus on coaching and hypnosis in my private practice, but I do work with women in pregnancy and birth and with their newborns after, just as a supportive person for coaching and help. So if you're curious about what hypnosis can do for your birth and your preparation and your ultimate birth plan, is that I, as a hypnotherapist and a coach, I can help you relax, visualize exactly what you want, create a space for you to have that, and then have the birth for you and your baby that is peaceful and calm. And so I am so glad that you came and listened today, and hopefully this spoke to you. But I am offering that complimentary first session. It's valued at $150. It takes 60 to 75 minutes on Zoom. And so we can work through your goals, your symptoms, your emotional landscape. I offer package deals. I would be so thrilled to work with more pregnant mamas. I've already worked with, I would say a fourth of my practice is pregnancy and birth related, my private practice of hypnosis and coaching. So if you're interested, if you're like, well, I can do this over Zoom with you, friends, I can train you and teach you what to expect in birth and how to calm your mind and give you some audio to have with you so that you can stay focused during birth and labor. And you can have a peaceful birth. I have had peaceful births, even with back labor, every single time. Over really big babies, I've still been able to give birth to them peacefully and calmly. It's intense. It is intense. But we can work with our bodies instead of against them. And when we get a lot of pain and fear and tension, we're working against our body. But when we're breathing and inhaling and exhaling and focusing our mind and our breath, we can keep our bodies calmer. That's the beauty. So if you are interested, reach out. If you're in your third trimester, reach out. We meet 6 to 8 times. I meet with your partner. We focus on physical comfort, nervous system regulation, fear reduction, mental rehearsal for birth, birth plan preparation and design, and confidence and trust in this process. And those final sessions, we often include the partner. So both of you are calm and aligned and prepared for your birth journey. And after birth, we meet again. So if you're interested, if this speaks to you, if this is an interesting topic that you would love to hear more about, please reach out. My information is in my description. My name is Vivian Hensley. This is my podcast, Mind Made New, where I explore hypnosis and coaching, lay biblical counseling through a faith lens, where we can talk about how does hypnosis work? How does God change our mind through scripture? How can we change our mind and align with his word? Right. And in this particular episode, we talked about pregnancy and how hypnosis can help us to prepare for pregnancy discomfort and birth preparation, labor. So, friends, I love you so much. I invite you to call, reach out 208-871-0466 for get your complimentary first session scheduled. Let's walk this journey of freedom and transformation together. And until next time, may your mind be renewed and your spirit be strengthened. Peace and grace to you, friends.